the Freight Fraud Task Force and the Freight Fraud Summit. This is the TikTok Diner Podcast, where your hosts, John Cantera and Jeff Dickinson, serve up some freight fraud with a side of prevention. Grab a menu and have a seat. Your table is ready at the TikTok Diner.
Hello, folks. John Cantera, the Double Broker Bounty Hunter here, and welcome to the TikTok Diner. With me, as always, is my wonderful co-host and my chairman, Jeff Dickinson. How you doing today, sir?
Good. You know, I was just laughing. We have to turn up the volume on the intro for us old folks so we can hear.
Oh, my God. We do. Oh, my gosh. I have got to redo that. Hey, if any of our fans out there want to help me with redoing our intro, I would love to talk to you. Do me a favor and hit me up. What the heck just happened there? I hit the wrong damn banner. That's the one I want to hit. Hit me up, jcantera, vigilanttransport.com. And I would love to talk to you about trying to redo our intro. That would be fantastic if you would love to help us with that. In the meantime, Jeff, there's been some funny freaking stuff happening in this industry. Now, fraud itself is not funny. Theft is not funny. But sometimes they're under funny circumstances. And take a look at what happened in Italy this week. Have you seen this?
I did. I
need a break. I needed a break so bad that, yes, I usually reach for a Kit Kat bar. And 400,000 Kit Kat bars went missing in central Italy this week. En route to Poland. Poland is going to have a hard time getting through Easter without Kit Kats. Of all the things to steal, candy. I mean, I guess anything that has any kind of value on the market, black market or otherwise, I guess is a target.
Guess somebody had a sweet tooth.
No. They gave up Kit Kats for Lent. That's what they gave up Kit Kats for Lent. For those of you who don't understand that, go find a Catholic and ask them, okay? In the meantime, yeah, so lots of theft going on, lots of candy theft going on. I actually got word from a private source that a load of peppermint patties was also stolen here in the United States. It's being investigated right now. It recently happened. It's being investigated, so it hasn't gone public, but that did happen. So lots of stuff going on. They're targeting candy, guys. So Hershey's, M&M, watch yourselves, okay? Lots of stuff going on out there. But that does lead us into today's Task Force Minute. If I can get the controls to work right, then I can go ahead and get started on that. Here we go. For the Freight Fraud Task Force, it's time for the Task Force Minute with your host, the Double Broker Bounty Hunter, John Cantera. You see, the volume is much better on that. Volume was much better on that. So for your Task Force Minute today, folks, and you've probably heard me sit there and say this before, and my dog is echoing it behind me. Make sure that all of your releasing agents, the places where these motor carriers are picking up, make sure they're trained, make sure they're educated, make sure that they know that they need to be looking at certain things when a carrier shows up to make a pickup. Make sure that they are looking at the side of the truck, verifying that the motor carrier is the same motor carrier that's listed on the BOL. And I will add this other caveat. Take a look at the VIN number inside the door of the truck and report that back to the freight broker. The freight broker is going to want to know that because they want to make sure that that particular truck is actually insured. We are coming across so many fleets out there where they claim they have 10 trucks, but they've only got 3 of them on their insurance.
Yeah.
That causes all kinds of liability headaches. So, folks, please pay attention to what's going on around you. Pay attention to the information that you have, especially if you're a shipper, because you are the front line and the last line of defense for freight fraud and theft. And that is your Task Force Minute. For the Freight Fraud Task Force, this has been another Task Force Minute. Please be sure to like and subscribe on all of our social media. Until next time, don't let scammers take you for a ride. So we have got a fun show for us today. You know, it's not every day that we find somebody who is a known supplier of the bricks that Jeff used to use when he was building the pyramids, but we have finally found somebody to have on the show for that. Ladies, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourselves?
Well, I'm Kathy Young, the owner and the old timer for Cargo Girls. Immediate Power doing business as Cargo Girls, and TrukOptiks, our app that we developed for truck drivers.
Awesome.
Fantastic. Amanda.
Yes, I'm Amanda, the daughter of the owner, and also the day-to-day operations of the brokerage Cargo Girls. And I have she had the vision and the dream of TrukOptiks, and I came in about 3 years ago and kind of sat back and watched, and then kind of took it and ran with it from there. So I mean, that's pretty much what we do. So
what is TrukOptiks?
Mommy, you want to take this?
Okay. Through the years, being a broker, there were things that were missing in our industry. When I started out, a truck driver would have to stop at a payphone and call me to be dispatched. That's how long I've been in business. That's how I was able to get the stone to the pyramids. Call and give them directions. I found truck drivers out of a phone book. This was pre-internet, and we had to do it the hard way. But through time, things changed. Now with cell phones, and there's more transparency, and there needs to be even more. There's not enough that surrounds the truck driver specifically. And that's what we developed the app for. It was developed out of the love for truck drivers. We want to feature them, so you see who's coming in to pick up your stones or your Kit Kat bars. We want to know who's picking up those Kit Kat bars. I want to know where my chocolate's going, who's hauling it, and I want to be able to see them from point A to point B. And so TrukOptiks was designed to feature the truck driver along with the side of his door. Currently we don't have the VIN number, but we could add that real easy, where they could also enter the VIN number on the truck, so that on the end of the shipper or the receiver, they've got all that information right there on the computer. The driver's truck, his driver's license, the side of his door. He can verify that that's who's in picking up. It's much more than that. In fact, Amanda can shed light on that. But we did develop this out of the love for the driver. No one talks about the driver. He's in there on a $5,000 load, picking up $100,000 worth of freight, and nobody knows who he is. So what we're doing is providing that much needed transparency to the industry.
Yeah, you mentioned driver's licenses. Is that data that you store in your system?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. What kind of privacy protections do you have in your system that help shield you? Because I know that privacy is a huge concern among freight brokers who have thought about trying to capture driver's license data for their shippers.
So I originally came from human resources. So I am all about the HIPAA privacy and all of that stuff. So that was one of my biggest concerns too. And we had initially said we wanted to capture all of that information. So our servers are with Amazon servers, which I think probably about 6 months ago, their servers went down, and it was a big to-do with several different companies that are also with them. So everything is on the secured server, right? So can I say that it's 100% secure? No, because as we all know, things have been hacked, and there's all kinds of things that can go wrong. But we do have one of the better providers of secured servers. Before we even started this, I didn't even know Amazon offered that, but they do. They do just about everything, it seems like. But they are secured. We have privacy notifications and stuff like that put into the system so that they know that they're stored on a secured network database. And then, the driver has the opportunity, if they want, they can delete their profile. They don't have to have the truck.
They can hide their license if they choose to do so.
Well, not technically. They can disable their profile. They can completely disable their profile. But our hopes are that, shippers and brokers, freight forwarders, those, the ones that are in it day to day, they're like, well, if you don't want to do it, then you can't move our freight. And just to dive into a little bit more of what the app actually does. So when I came in and started working with, my mom has been talking about this for years. In 2020, she finally did it. She went out and hired somebody to do it, and it makes sense for the industry. But I wanted to come in and kind of sit back and see why she was having this vision, how we could, make it work and get it on the market. Well, I came in and I think I cost her a lot of money, but I saw what she was trying to do. And I kind of said, okay, I sat back for about a month and I said, okay, I think this is what is needed, because while we vet the carrier company and we say, okay, yeah, they're good on paper, everything looks good, I have no idea who in that carrier company's truck is coming in to pick up our freight and taking it from point A to point B. So the app is for the truck drivers, but it also is for shippers and receivers and warehousing. And Mom was adamant about it being for, power plants, which is actually the industry that I worked in prior to, airports, because what it does is I set you up as a driver on the platform. The driver goes in, he uploads a profile picture. So there he is. And then you get the front and back of his driver's license. You get his tags on both the truck and the trailer. You get a picture of his truck, of his trailer, and also any endorsements that he has. And then I can export that profile and I can send it to the shipper and to the receiver and say, this is the person and the carrier that is coming in to get your freight. It's a PDF document. They look at it. And they say, yep, okay, he's good. This is him. But it goes above that too, where it has live tracking. Now I can tell you a little bit more about how we got into this, but it also has fraudulent spoofing location notifications. Unfortunately, we've had several carriers that have done that to us, where they've spoofed their location. And so it has those, now it has the fraudulent notifications. So if I book a load with somebody and they say, yeah, I'm 10 minutes out, and they're 150 miles away and it's not matching anything that's on my shipment, the system is going to put red alerts all over the map. Right when you log into the app as an admin user on the TrukOptiks admin site, it's going to put it right there in front of your face. You can't miss it. Then,
So what happens when those red flags? What are the next steps that you take when those red flags start flashing on your map and you're like, no, he's not 5 minutes away, he's 150 miles? What's the next step that Optiks took up?
If it was my shipment, I'd pull his ass off of it and say, yeah, you're not picking up my freight, and I'd recover it. Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, so a lot of the things that we've tried to incorporate in it and update it. Right now we're doing the last kind of bit of updates to it. but the thing that has kind of driven the way that the app works is real life experience. We were unfortunate enough to have 3 shipments stolen from us last year.
On another, not with TrukOptiks, but another tracking app.
Yes.
So we were learning through unfortunately, we've had to learn through years of experience. You lay on the floor and cry, and something has got to change.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And that has happened more than once. My husband stood over me like Tom Hanks and said, "There's no crying in trucking." But there is. There has been tears shed. I mean, no blood, fortunately, not here, but
my husband made a comment about it being freight raped. It's like you feel freight raped.
Yes.
And it's true though. You feel so
listen, girl, you feel
horrible.
You feel like things you've been without kissed. You know, there's no kiss involved here.
Yeah.
You just I'm sure that you guys know this is the girl side of it. This is the female side of the industry. There we feel you are violated without and not kissed. You know,
I think we got some new co-hosts, Jeff. I
know. Wow.
It's unfortunate though, and they just keep getting. They're so crafty. They're just so crafty.
They are.
Like, and I'm pretty tech savvy, so I can, I can go back and I can dig into stuff, and it's like when it's after it's done, you see it. You see the signs. I mean, I'll give you an example. A couple of weeks ago, I had a guy that worked that just for a month was like dead set on me moving freight for him, move freight for me. And I worked with him, and I mean, I hate to do this, but shout out to Haul Pay, because if it wasn't for Haul Pay, who we use as our factoring company, we probably would have been got for another $10,000. The guy didn't even work for the company that I moved freight for. The carrier was in on it. I was so
a fictitious customer with a fictitious shipment.
Yep.
Thank you. Thank you. You know how many times I've said this is happening and people have told me I'm a freaking liar?
No.
Thank you.
No. And it was not tracked with our that's why it was not tracked on TrukOptiks.
Mm-hmm. But Macro Point
tracked.
I have freight guard. I don't even care. We use Macro Point. It is one of the preferred methods with one of our customers. And it works with our new TMS system. And I do like it when it works right. I have Fraud Guard set up in the background with Macro Point, and it still did not notice the spoofing. It is my developers that I work with on our app that told me what to look for and how to tell when these guys are spoofing their location. And it is absolutely absurd to me that there still isn't anything that is being done about it until TrukOptiks will be hopefully.
It will, but we've got to get everyone on board. This is everyone's responsibility, not just shippers, receivers, carriers, brokers, truck drivers. Everyone needs to be on board. This has got to be stopped. And trucking it's been like a individual sport as opposed to a team sport.
Mm-hmm.
We now need to become a team and work hard.
I just saw that comment. That's funny.
Well, I mean, at rendering this, at stopping this problem. I don't know that we'll ever stop it, because as long as I can remember people stealing the stones that we built the pyramids with. So it's been going on for the entire life of the trucking industry. But it's worse than it's ever been.
Yeah.
And you need to do everything possible to stop it. And I feel like TrukOptiks is a missing link right now. It needs, it will, as soon as it hits the market, I keep telling Amanda, when's it ready? When's it ready? When's it ready? And we are literally days away from this hitting the market. And we've always felt like it would be a splash. We are hoping it will be.
I don't think it's going to be a splash. I think
it probably won't be, but
I really do. I'm that confident. It actually makes me a little nervous, just because it is. There's not a day that goes by that I do not talk to a truck driver that is like grilling me. Quite frankly, would want to, to get my blood work to make sure that I'm a good brokerage, because they're dealing with it too.
I think it'll help the truck drivers. It'll help the owner operators I feel like it will. So we have used the app already, right? That the app we have used it multiple times. And then it got to a point where it was a little bit difficult for the older guys and drivers to get registered on it. And I said, okay,
the less tech savvy.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I said something's got to change because it's not working. It was frustrating for us because we are a new brokerage, but we're not new, right? So we're fast paced, and it's, we have to get it done and move on to the next shipment to get them, get everybody rolling and on the road. But so it was taking more time for us to do it. So we kind of paused, and then we had the theft happen within a span of 6 months. I think going from California, Chicago, New York. I mean,
nearly did us in, or I felt like that. Yeah.
And so when we did that, we went back to the developers. I said, this is what we're dealing with. I need a solution. Help me. And so I sent them, some of our macro point feeds and stuff like that. And they are wonderful and came up with a solution. Is it 100% foolproof? No. But if we keep up with the way technology moves, they should be able to make sure that they are catching things as soon as they happen and applying the fix. So we'll keep them on it with maintenance in the background where they're constantly keeping up with the next crook that comes in trying to steal freight. So
I always claim they lay in bed at night coming up with new ideas, to steal the freight, and I'm laying in bed at night coming up with the latest idea for stopping it.
Yeah.
So it's
welcome to our world.
Yeah.
I spend an insane amount of time thinking up what could be next. What could possibly be next? Because we all know that the bad guys actually are 5, 6, 7 steps ahead of us. They've got the next 5 or 6 frauds already planned out and waiting for us to catch what they're currently doing, let them know that we see what they're doing, and then they move to the next thing. So we're always going to be behind. And Kathy, you hit the nail on the head. This is always going to be here. Yeah. The only thing that's changed is the methodology. Back from your not so younger days, it was all the Goodfellas smash and grab, steal the entire rig type situations and sell cigarettes out of the back of the truck. Though that still does happen from time to time, it's extremely rare. Now it's the strategic theft. It's all of the electronic deceptions. It's the social engineering that's getting involved now, and that's something that you guys are trying to find a curb against. One of the things about the deception forms that are out there is that they try to pass disinformation or whatnot. It was like I was working a theft case a few days ago, and the guy said, "Oh yeah, I've got the cargo, and it was double brokered to me. I'll deliver it tomorrow. This is the ETA. This is how far I am, and I'm gonna send you a tracking link." He never accepted tracking and then started ghosting me. Clearly, he was just buying time. He was the crook. He was just buying time to steal the freight, so it was no real help. But the deception is what's out there. Anything that cuts through the noise to get to the facts is going to help the industry. And that's what I see your platform doing? It's cutting through the noise, giving the shipper the information that's necessary to know that they can release. You know, if you have Ivan Dragunov showing up for a pickup, but it's supposed to be John Smith, don't release the damn freight.
I know.
Okay.
Exactly. I know we've got to have everyone's help with this. Everyone.
I do want to kind of, if you don't mind, I kind of wanted that's exactly what happened to us, right? So they sent us a picture of his driver's license and a picture of his truck and trailer, right? So we sent it over to them. They didn't check it. The freight was stolen, and we lost a huge contract because of it. Well, because of that too, within the app, we now have it set up to where the drivers have to take live photos. You cannot upload photos from your camera roll. You have to physically take a picture and upload it and add that as your profile picture. So I can't go to my camera roll and get my best picture and put it as my profile picture. I can't upload a picture of my driver's license from my camera roll. It only allows you to take live photos in hopes that they can quit doing that and sending stock photos of a truck, which is what happened to us as well. It was from Amazon.
Well, and I even had one of the thieves turned around and asked me if he'd sell me back the freight for $40,000.
Yep, sure.
Don't think I thought about it. But you know what? You can't trust a thief. There's no trusting a thief. So it was our third load too. So yeah. Whatever. And that's because I'm willing to do whatever it takes. A good broker is willing to do whatever it takes.
Yeah, my response is we don't negotiate with terrorists.
Yeah, we don't. We don't.
That's a great way to put it, and I wholeheartedly agree with you. I've seen too many brokers take that leap and pay that $40,000 ransom, and they don't get it back.
Yeah.
Sometimes they will. Sometimes they will. They say, "Okay, well, thank you for the money. This is the location of the trailer. We're sending you a pin. Thank you very much. Have a nice day." And you may actually see it back. And then I've seen cases where the thief intended to leave the trailer, did leave the trailer, and then another thief came in and took it. So, guys, nothing surprises me in this industry anymore. Absolutely nothing.
Mm-hmm.
I've had lots of conversations with law enforcement. I've had lots of conversations with other industry professionals, and there is absolutely nothing out there I haven't already heard. I truly do believe it. And the day I do hear something new, I will not rest until I can figure out a defense for it, because that's just the way I am. It's the way I think. And I'm glad to hear that there are other people out there who are trying to do that. Amanda, Kathy, you guys, you seem like you've got your finger on the pulse. You're working as brokers. You've got the drivers in mind. You're trying to take care of them. You don't need a law that says we have to provide them a bathroom to be able to respect a driver. And I appreciate that. I'm sure all the other drivers out there appreciate that. I still can't believe we actually have to have a law that says that. That drives me insane. But speaking of laws, with some of the new stuff that is coming around, the stuff that we're seeing out of, say, Delilah's Law, including the ban on foreign dispatch services, and non-domicile CDL issues, all the other stuff that's going on, the hot buttons in politics for trucking. Does your platform take these things into account?
Yes. I mean, I try to stay in touch with everything. I mean, you know, our app is in compliance as far as data and holding the data and all of that. You know, it is also up to whoever uses the app. So there's an admin platform, you know, just like any other system where they can purchase loads, and then they're responsible for sending it out to the carrier and all of that as well. I'm not 100% up. I don't know exactly about the Delilah Law that you're talking about, so I'll need to do some research on that. But I mean, it is up to the users of the platform as well. As far as data and privacy goes, our app is compliant with that. But any other thing like that, it is going to be on the responsibility of the person who uses it.
Well, Delilah law is moving very fast through
Mm-hmm.
Congress. It's currently on the House floor, passed committee a couple weeks ago. Basically, what that does is a few different things for the industry. It codifies in the law the FMCSA's latest changes to the non-domicile CDL, limiting it to only the H-2A, H-2B, and E-2 visa types are able to get it. Part of me disagrees with that. I think DACA should be included, but DACA recipients are no longer allowed to have CDLs. So they can't get a non-domicile CDL anymore. It also gives, it puts a ban out there on the foreign dispatch services, total ban. So with a 1-year grace period, any carrier seen using a foreign dispatch service can be subject to a $50,000 fine per occurrence. So foreign dispatch services, I believe your days are now officially numbered.
That makes me so happy.
I know. That is good. That is very good.
They're doing some good things. The government is finally stepping up and doing some important things for the industry. It pales in comparison to what's needed. Let's face it, the last major overhaul of trucking regulations was the Motor Carrier Act of 1980. I'm not sure about you, Amanda, but the rest of us have been alive since then, and we've seen the pain that the industry went through after 1980 and how it's been slowly going back to its roots over time for the last 40 years. But there needs to be yet another update. Technology has changed. Processes have changed. The entire industry, the makeup of the economy has changed. Mm-hmm. So there needs to be a change that meets the law, or the law needs to be updated in order to accommodate today's world. Right now, the law does not have anything in place to deal with double brokering and freight fraud and whatnot. Hell, double brokering is not even a legal definition. Yeah. There is no legal definition for double brokering or illegal brokerage that exists in law. So yet we all talk about double brokering and illegal brokerage all the time. We all know what it is. We all know it when we see it. But you can't sue somebody for it.
Yeah. So I think to clarify though, so we are not like a My Carrier packet or a highway, right? So right. This is a second security thing that will go in behind you doing whatever your carrier checks are, right?
Additional vetting.
Yes.
Additional vetting.
So while they need to already, users of the app need to already vet the carrier, but then you're just confirming that if you vetted that carrier, so let's use as an example, somebody hacked into a carrier's Gmail account. They now are saying that they're going to book the load with you. Here's, they fill out the carrier packet because that's happened. And they send a truck in there. This is what happened to us. Carrier's email was hacked. They went into the, did I lose you guys?
I'm not sure what happened. We are.
Okay. I was like, what happened?
Did somebody try to share their screen or something?
No, but I thought that's
I apologize.
Okay. No. Well, I was about to say, so I wasn't touching my mouse. I didn't have anything on the control panel.
I apologize.
Oh, we're taking a break.
Yeah. But
break brought to you by TrukOptiks.
Yeah. But so ideally, this is just to kind of put into context that person that hacked into that carrier's email isn't going to want to use TrukOptiks because now they have to provide a live photo of the truck, the trailer, the driver's license, and it has to match everything with that carrier, and they can't do that. So essentially, I've said, okay, I'm not going to send you the rate con until I get your carrier's profile. And if they don't fill it out, then I've stopped that from happening before they even get the information on my pickup in my delivery. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. That's a great safety catch that you have put in place.
Well, or another, we want to be connected to those type of programs, but right now this is a second second security check. Sorry, Mom, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Well, no, I was just thinking, I've always felt like it would be wonderful to be to the point where when you pull in somewhere, they ask, what's your TKO number?
Yeah.
What's your TKO number? That's our thought. What's your TKO? We want it to be at that level where the driver is registered, and wherever you go, you need your TKO number. It's so that's our dream.
Yeah.
That's our dream. And we hope it helps. We pray it helps.
It's definitely not a bad dream. It's definitely not a bad dream. I mean, if you look at the highways, the MCPs and the RMISs that are out there, they're always looking for new products that they can turn around and sell to their clients, which is why which is the economic reason as to why I say fraud is never going to go away.
Right.
Because all these systems that are out there trying to help defeat fraud, they've got a financial interest in making sure fraud stays, because they're constantly selling you more and more stuff to try to help fight fraud. As much as I love highway, etc., you're a for-profit. That's why we have the Freight Fraud Task Force, which is a nonprofit, and our goal is to eliminate freight fraud. But that's neither here nor there. Jeff and I would love one day to have to retire because we're no longer needed. I don't see that day ever happening.
No,
right into the grave.
I would love to retire as well, but I can see me being 80 years old with a desk, wanting to know what's going on in the freight world. I'll dip in, dip out, so there's no retiring. I've always heard that. You're born into freight and you're hauled out in a coffin. Literally.
That's a great way to put it. I like how all the mobsters sit there and say it. Once you're in, you can't get out.
Yeah.
I've got several friends trying to get out of freight, trying to get out of logistics. They're like, okay, I'm going into insurance. I don't want to deal with trucks anymore. What do they end up doing? They end up selling trucks to commercial carriers or sending insurance to commercial carriers.
I was going to say, no, insurance is just that. So
It's fun.
Every time I left it, I came back. And I've left it several times, left the industry several times. Every time I came back, I'd go, oh my God, why did I ever leave? And so the last time I did it, I said, I'm not going to. I'm stuck like Chuck. So
we are gluttons for punishment.
Yes.
We we love to be abused. We love to be kicked around. And we live for this work.
I hate to introduce anyone to this industry because it's something that you just, once it's in your blood, you can't let it. So anyway, that's why generations, I was
going to say, that's why she just keeps dragging us family.
I know. Well, my grandfather was a truck driver. My uncle was a truck driver. I started out with UPS. So when I was going through college, I was working with UPS. So it's ongoing. It's ongoing. So I thought, and no wonder the idea of the app came to me. It was God gave it to me because I love truck drivers. So that's it. It's my love of truck drivers. I started out with that. I'll end with that. So.
Yeah, it's one thing that I always admire. It's passion.
Oh, yeah.
It's passion. Yes. One of the big things that we look at around the task force. Everyone who's on the task force or on our main leadership team, we are hyper passionate about everything that we do in this industry. We have our own specialties. We have our own niches that we operate in, but we are hyper excited about everything that we do. The passion is amazing, and I feel that from you ladies as the brand Cargo Girls. I love that, by the way. I love that it's a multi-generational thing. It's fantastic. I love seeing that. Aside from all that, you guys just exude a passion that many in this industry don't, and I'm so damn happy to see it. I can't wait for you to launch the platform. Now, when your platform currently, you're designing it to sell it to freight brokers, or are you selling it The carriers,
Everybody.
Anyone who manages, they can manage trucks. Dump truck companies could use it. They can share tracking links. They can share the profile of, hey, this guy's coming and bringing you dirt or whatever, however it's very broad who can use it. Anyone who touches any type of freight can purchase and use it to manage, if they work with a huge company,
well, I'm thinking that a shipper could use it. The
Yeah.
guy in the guard shack could use it,
Yes.
so he knows who's coming through. I had airports in mind. I had
Huge warehouses.
I had Southern Company in mind. I had the plants, the power plants.
Yeah.
They don't know who's coming in. They have no idea who's pulling up to their docks. And even with TSA, they have no idea. So it's very much needed in the industry.
Well, off of what you said just a second ago, how you said that you had said something about it not, about there not being anything. There's all these programs and stuff out there that can kind of help with the fraud in the industry. But it's all carrier forward. It's very much all about the carrier. When you step back and you look at it from a double broker standpoint, from a theft standpoint, it all is who the hell is picking the freight up? Who's there getting it? Who is picking it up? Who's delivering it? Like we had one guy take the freight to a box truck in the alley. I mean, come on, dude. I didn't think anything was suspicious about it. How the hell do you not think there's anything suspicious about that? You're literally taking it from a huge facility to a box truck. Something isn't right. And so this is the carrier. It's all about the driver, not about the carrier. It's all about the driver. So our hopes with that is that, this again is a double security check and watch on your freight. I mean, if you don't fill out the profile, you can't move my freight. I'm sorry. That's how, when we go live on the 20th to the public and everything, there will not be one driver that does not have a TKO platform or TKO profile and tracking on our load. If you don't do it, you don't get to move our freight. And we pay well.
So that's good to know. But as far as drivers getting onto the platform, I'm assuming that's free for a driver to register on the platform because they have to go through that, to put their information in, et cetera, et cetera. So then brokers who want to participate or shippers who want to participate and gain access to that data, they are the ones who are going to be actually paying for the platform. What kind of cost do you have in there? Is there a cost structure set up? Is it like based on revenue?
Right now, it's per load. So they can buy packages. They can buy a package of 50. They can buy a package of 500. They can buy unlimited shipments per month. And it is, and it's right now, it's new to the industry. So, it's not super expensive. And anybody who tries to purchase it. So if, I'm trying to think of some foreign name. I can't think of one, but if some guy in Armenia wants to try to buy it and get in to use it for fraudulent reasons, we're going to every person who purchases it, we will be running credit checks as well as running through everything that we can to try to keep the bad actors off of the platform as well. Anybody who has any fraudulent activity as far as an admin user they'll be shut off. Money will not be refunded, and that'll be that. So, and we are personally doing that. It's not an AI thing. It's not regulated. We are physically doing it ourselves to try to eliminate, the bad actors from getting into the system.
So are you going to try to restrict the international community from access?
Absolutely. Why? If they are based, so we do our developers are based in Argentina. So they actually have tested it in Argentina. It works. We've ran a shipment up to Canada. It works. It will work in Mexico. But right now we are focusing on the US market. We're more on the domestic side of things anyway, from our brokerage standpoint. At some point, do we want to go fully international with it? Absolutely. But we want to focus here in the US first.
That's when I retire.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah.
I spent my entire career in domestic logistics.
Yes.
I really do not want to have to deal with it beyond the port. I really don't.
Amen.
Oh, I'm not a freight forwarder. That's a world I have no desire to get into.
Yeah.
We do a lot of that.
God bless you.
But we do the domestic side of it. Yeah. Yeah.
I've run more port operations and warehouses than I can count at this point. And yeah, no. I mean, once it goes across the dock and onto the ship, I'm done. Game over. I've had enough. I do not want another piece of that stuff. Way too much regulation. I already learned a ton. There's too much in here. I can't even possibly focus anymore on it. Seriously, you're making my head hurt. But now, for those of you who actually do the freight forwarding, oh man, God bless you. That's way too much for me.
It's a lot of work.
Because I know the scammers are just as bad overseas. The scams are getting just as bad overseas. We talked about.
They are
the scammers.
Yeah,
people are the scammers.
I've heard theft is horrible in Canada. It's horrible. So
what I mean by that is like when our one situation where I envisioned this little Armenian guy sitting in a dark basement somewhere, wherever he's from, messing with us.
Armenia.
Because, I mean, he was literally texting,
Armenia.
like, did you find your freight? You want to talk about getting mad? I was so
yeah, they'll taunt you. They will taunt you.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
They'll go, hi.
Did you find your freight? And I'm like, excuse me. I'm like, no, fucker, I didn't, because you know where it's at. You're already gone. Like,
you're asking me, what'd you do with it?
Yeah. So.
Oh yeah. They love to taunt you, and then when you catch them and you end up beating them, oh man, they come after you with a vengeance. I know when I first started doing my double broker bounty hunter stuff, we had stopped a couple double brokered loads in transit, and my drivers got paid the full amount. This is back when they were skimming off the top, not taking the entire freight bill. And I was able to get my drivers hooked up with the right broker, and they got paid the full amount, so they made extra money on the loads. And we cut out the scammers, and the scammers would blow my phone up with some of the nastiest texts you could possibly imagine. I mean, threatening my wife, my kids, show up my driver, whatnot. Sitting in my desk here, I've got my Beretta 9mm. I was a crack shot when I was in the military. You really want to take me out? You pull up in my driveway, and I promise you will have 2 to the chest and 1 to the head before you ever get out of your car. Okay, unless you're Russian Spetsnaz, that's the special forces. Okay, you are not going to get me. So do your worst, bastards. Have at it.
I know. I have thought about that before because you're everything's out there. You're exposed. I have been concerned about that in the past.
I actually haven't even thought about that until just now. That is.
Yeah, no, I have, but I'm married to a Marine, so.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
I feel safe.
There you go. I've had a lot of people, especially motor carriers, who sit there and want to use post office boxes for their place of business and all that. That's illegal. We can't do that anyway. But they sit there and say, well, it's for security. I don't want someone to show up at my house or something. I was like, okay, well, but that's the law. You need to focus on the law first. Otherwise you're going to lose your authority at some point, because FMCSA is headed in that direction, thanks to Modus and some of the other upgrades that they're doing. But I sit there and they're like, well, do you want the bad guys coming to you? I was like, look at my website. My address is right at the bottom of the freaking screen. You come and see me anytime you want, buddy. You just try it.
No.
Come on. And not a soul has come at me. Not a single soul.
It's because they're all sitting in a dark basement somewhere. They're not even here.
That's right. That's right. That's absolutely right. But even the domestic guys, I've been chasing after domestic guys too. I got a guy in Texas I've been chasing after for 2.5 years now. He's stolen at least $2 million from owner operators who sign on with him, and he never pays them. You know, he knows exactly who I am. He's taunted me by video before, and I was like, "Come on, you just show on up any day, buddy.
Is that
you come on over?"
Your site too, wasn't it? The video, the response, is that the one that you're talking about?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, I was wondering what that was about. I was like, "Oh,
Face of a Scam." If you're on my YouTube page, Face of a Scam is the name of the episode. Please check that out. I've got some fun shorts out there from some of the things that he did. You know, he did a 15-minute video attacking me for investigating, and you know, he sits there and says, "I'm not stealing money from anybody," and in the next breath, he's like, "I've made hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars off of stupid drivers." And I'm like, dude, you just admitted it. You know, then he later sits there, he says, "Hey, you want to get my DOT number shut down? You go right ahead. I got 3 or 4 more waiting. You go right ahead." And I'm like, dude, you just admitted to committing fraud against the federal government on a video, on a recorded video, which, by the way, before he deleted it, I saved it, and FMCSA now has it. So,
is he still operating? Is he still operating?
Yes.
Is it?
Well, the last MC number that he had is no longer operational. I am trying to find his latest reincarnation. He is one of those chameleon carriers. He has had 7 motor carrier authorities and 2 broker authorities that we have identified him against. So we're still chasing him. This one guy, he's a 28-year-old little snot-nosed brat out of Dallas, and I will not rest until I have seen him in handcuffs.
Yeah. Well, good for you. I do think the system's broken too, though. Like this whole shit where they're like, where people have these old DOT numbers, old MCs, whatever, and then they're selling them.
Oh yeah.
And then those people are then going out and they're stealing freight or they're double brokering freight. It's like, why are they allowed to do that? You shouldn't be able to sell a DOT or an MC number, because that's half the battle that we're dealing with. Is
That's
because it's ridiculous.
Well, and that's changing. You saw FMCSA put out guidance a few weeks ago specifically saying that if they detect that has happened, that they are immediately killing the authority. And that's fantastic. In fact, I've already reported about a dozen authorities to FMCSA for that exact
Are
practice.
they shutting them down quickly? Like, are you?
Oh, yes. Yes. They are getting them shut down. So I'm hoping that the practice is going to start to go away. You know, they've made it public. They're doing everything they can to push that. But let's also see that FMCSA is at reduced staffing levels. Okay. Doge came through a year ago, completely chopped them apart. Their investigative team has been absolutely demolished. Yeah. So a lot of the investigations that are going on got sidelined because they need to hire new investigators to be able to keep up with the workload. So, I mean, hats off to the guys who are still at FMCSA. They are some of the hardest working bastards that are out there, but they are so underappreciated about the work that they do. And they have to operate within the constraints of the law, which is why we desperately need these laws to be updated so that FMCSA can actually do the work that they are tasked to do. Otherwise, it is left up to us, the industry, to step up in a grassroots fashion and actually make something happen, which is why we created the Freight Fraud Task Force. So, it's so good to talk to people who are so well aligned with the things that we're trying to do and the things that we're trying to support out of the Fed and the stuff that they are capable of doing and not capable of doing, and stepping up where they're not capable and trying to do something about it. This platform, it could be a huge game changer. I can see the potential in this, and we would definitely love to help you promote it in any way that we can, and to try to get the word out there. So drivers, if you are out there, you need to get with Amanda and Kathy. You need to register on TrukOptiks. Get your equipment on there. You know,
TrukOptiks, yeah.
TrukOptik. Sorry, Fred. Sorry, I threw the S on there. My bad. And when I was a motor carrier, one of the things that I tried to pride myself on was my transparency. I wanted to be able to portray myself out there as the brand that I wanted to have. You know, as Jeff likes to talk about all the time, it's all about protecting your brand, your name, and your products. I wanted to get my brand out there. I wanted to be professional. I wanted everyone to know who I am. I want everyone to ask for me specifically. So that's what I want to do. I want to be transparent. This allows for that level of transparency. This allows for a driver to come up front and say, Mr. Broker, I am stepping up. I am going to be 100% transparent with you. And now do me the courtesy, the professional courtesy of being transparent with me along the way. And I'm not necessarily talking about 49 CFR 371.3. Broker transparency law. Okay, that's another discussion for another day. But I am talking about fairness.
Yeah.
I'm talking about treating everyone with fairness and respect, because we've done a horrible disservice to most drivers out there. Most drivers out there are not respected the way that they should be.
No, they're not, and I noticed that. That is one reason. That is one reason I went there with TKO. I was about the drivers. I've always felt, as mean as they were to me at times, I love them anyway. I love them more than they loved me.
Yeah. She'll tell them that too.
I know. Yeah, I love you more than you love me. Quit. Stop it. You're so mean.
It's one thing I always heard out of my parents.
Yeah.
that was the only fight I always heard out of them. And then they got divorced on their 25th anniversary.
We can get mean with them too. Don't.
Yeah, I don't take any crap.
Yeah, we don't. But
I'm not that kind of girl.
Yeah.
Love.
And usually it'll come back around and be like, "You're cool. Everything's good. We're all good." And I'm like, I tried to tell you, but you can't trust anybody. Nobody can trust anybody. That's the sad part.
I know it's something that you have to hear. You have to feel it in your heart. Believe it or not, nowadays her guts got both of our guts. We know things.
My 18-year-old daughter walked behind me and was like, "Mom, trust your gut. You always regret it when you don't." And I was like, I did. You're on a phone call, a little bit double brokering on me.
You get that feeling.
Mm-hmm.
You get that feeling.
I don't know if it's the hair standing up on the back of your neck, spidey sense tingling, whatever you want to call it. Mm-hmm. You better believe it. That's the very first recommendation I ever make to a client. Trust your gut.
Yeah.
Trust your gut. If something doesn't seem right, you don't have to know what it is, but if it doesn't seem right, just walk away.
Yeah.
Just walk the hell away. And that is by far the best way to live in this industry. If it doesn't seem right, just walk away. You can always ask questions later, but I'm right there with you. We're coming up towards the top of the hour, so I would love to give you ladies a final chance to go ahead and say your piece. Amanda, let's go ahead and start with you.
Well, I mean, it like we've said, I mean, it is. I do feel like TrukOptiks is going to be a game changer. We have the changes that we've implemented. This recent change for the drivers is going to make it a little bit easier. We've kind of added a little bit of personality into it as well. So it's kind of to help keep them engaged. But they've got to want to do it. The drivers also have to help with the fraud. They've got to be willing to put in the work to use the app. This thing is going to be a game changer. It's different. There's nothing in the industry that focuses on the driver. You bet the carrier, but then what about the driver? So I do really truly believe in it. My mom has been adamant about it for years, and I feel like everything happens for a reason. I left a job of 14 years and I came to work with her, and I have absolutely zero regrets. We put a lot of money into it. So it's going to be a good thing. So just check it out. It's worth it.
Working with family is hard, but it's amazing that you made that jump.
We love working with her. We drive each other nuts sometimes, but it's that great.
I drive them.
Kathy, the mic is yours.
Well, listen, thank you for doing what you do, because you are creating that team that I feel that is needed to fight this type of thing in the industry. I don't know why trucking seems to be a every man for himself type work. It does seem to be, but it's the teamwork that's needed to overcome these issues that plague and have plagued the industry for years. So thank you. Thank you for having us. Anything you need, let us know. We'll sign you two up. We'll sign you two up for free. We'll send you a link.
Everybody gets 5 free shipments. Once your company's been vetted, you get 5 free shipments. So you can definitely try it out. But you got to be vetted. You got to make sure you're legit.
And good luck with what you're doing.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. We really do appreciate you coming out. Jeff, you want to go ahead and fire away?
Yeah, I couldn't agree more with Kathy. Coming from the 80s and working on the shipments, on the shipper side, that is, back then there was unity. We all got along great. Reps, carriers, shippers, some brokers at that time, very few at that time, but we learned how to be transparent with everyone. And it wasn't all about business. It was friendships. And a handshake was an ironclad agreement, not like what we have today with transportation agreements and all that kind of stuff. But we work now in a very fragmented industry, and we need to unite. That's the reason why I started this whole thing, is that we need to unify the industry and start bringing due diligence back into play, because we lack it so much across so many segments of the industry. And that's why we face the fraud that we do. We just assume, but we don't take the steps to prepare or be proactive. It's more reactive. And the ones that have worked in there, and I say it all the time, I'll say it again, I never faced fraud, when I was a shipper, and I'm one of very, very few, because you have to put processes and work instructions and training, all that stuff in place, because tools alone will not save you at all. It's just data, and it's get-go, and it's garbage in and garbage out, and humans put it in there. And you have to know, it's that gut instinct that you have to rely heavily on in order to make the right decisions. And it's very hard for the newcomers coming on board. So that's why we're here, and we'd love for both you, Kathy, and Amanda to join our team and help us to push our narrative in which we built it upon over a year ago. The more the merrier. It'll help to unify, again, the industry. We'd love to have you on board.
Listen, this was fun, guys. This was a lot of fun. I enjoy sitting around talking freight.
Oh, it is amazing. And I find it therapeutic, actually. That's one of the reasons why I do these shows. But that's neither here nor there. Folks, upcoming, we do have the Freight Fraud Summit on May 21st. We invite you to register at freightfraudsummit.com or get a hold of myself or Jeff. We'll be happy to get you signed up to attend. It is definitely going to be a fun place, and you should be able to learn a lot and help in building up good defenses and best practices for fighting fraud. That is going to be in New Brunswick, New Jersey on the 21st of May. Next week, we've got a roundtable discussion with some of our friends here at the Freight Fraud Task Force. We're going to have Jen back here, and we even have an invitation out to our friend Sage Outcast. So, Sage, we do want to have a conversation about insurance and brokerage with you if you're willing to jump in. But we'll talk about that a little bit later. Ladies and gentlemen, your check is sitting on the table. Please be sure to tip out your server, and we will see you next time on the TikTok Diner.